It's not consistency without evolution. It's stagnation, but better branding. Let's talk about the danger of being the same person too long. Now, I know the version of you, it's all worked. It's got you here. It's solved real problems. It's gained trust. It's built momentum. And if you're not careful, it's going to be the reason you stop growing. So many times in life, we get comfortable, right? We get comfortable in who we are because it's not dangerous. It's no longer a part of risk. You're not allowing yourself to totally take grasp of what you can become because you're trying to hold on with an anchor, right? Talking about the ship to an anchor of the past. Your growth, it's not going to ask for permission. It's going to ask for your courage. All right, let's go. If you're tired, not feeling fit, tired, something to focus, tired, just not having the life that you deserve. This is supposed to be, I'm Jason Yarusi. Today, let's talk about the danger of being the same person too long. Now, I know the version of you, it's all worked. It's got you here. It's solved real problems. It's gained trust. It's built momentum. And if you're not careful, it's going to be the reason you stop growing. So many times in life, we get comfortable, right? We get comfortable in who we are because it's not dangerous. It's no longer a part of risk because you are where you are and you get comfortable with this identity. So you stop trying, you plateau, you cling to habits that worked, a reputation that was you, right? And you see this many times in businesses, right? You could think back to Blockbuster, when Blockbuster had what seemed to be the legacy of all things, right? You would have Friday night where everybody would go and find their movie and then go home and have that night. And then slowly they disappeared. What seemed like a company that could never be taken down, would not adapt to what Netflix brought to the table. They would not open their eyes. We saw this with Kodak cameras, where they disappeared. They wouldn't adapt to the digital, right? You see this many times where people look at what they have and say, well, this is good enough, until it's no longer able to keep up with what needs to be. And you may call where you are consistency, right? But it's not consistency without evolution. It's stagnation, but better branding. High performers, you feel this first, right? You don't feel lost. You don't feel lazy. You feel restless because the restlessness, it comes with guilt of wanting more, of wanting to be different, and just questioning a life that looks successful from the outside. And you say to yourself, I should be grateful. I shouldn't complain. This version of me got me to where I am. And all of that is true, but it doesn't mean that is the version that's meant to stay where you are. And history can show this very clearly, right? In 1914, Ernest Shackleton, he had this very audacious plan to go and cross Antarctica, right? And the mission was bold. He was an explorer, conqueror, trailblazer, and all started a part of the journey. His ship, the ice, it froze solid, and months passed where he couldn't go along with the plan. The ship even sank. And this is where most people fail. Immediately, he stopped being the explorer because that wasn't what mattered to him. From explorer to protector, from conquest to survival, from legacy to responsibility, it was the same man, but he had to change his identity. We see this a lot with athletes who, or Olympic athletes, right? We're here in the Olympics. That becomes their identity. They don't know how to proceed from there. We see this many times when someone's stuck with one job for that becomes their world, becomes who they are, right? And you're not the job, you are you. I love this quote where it says, no man ever steps in the same river twice, because at each point you're different and the river continues to expand, and that's life in a journey. Reinvention, it's not about portraying yourself. It's maturity in every level. The hard part is it comes with uncertainty of you having to now rediscover new parts of you that you didn't know you needed. You need to be a new person to step up the time of who you are, who the obstacles you face, what's around you, both good and bad, how you have transitioned to this world. And Live 100, it's not about clinging to your identity. It's about upgrading it. This is the uncomfortable question. Who am I still being outside of the habits I do each and every day? And this is where you can slowly test yourself, right? Am I protecting some version of me just because it's familiar? Am I loyal to an identity that I no longer fit within? You're growing each and every day. You're becoming a better person in so many ways, yet you're not allowing yourself to totally take grasp of what you can become because you're trying to hold on with an anchor, right? Talking about the ship to an anchor of the past. Your growth, it's not going to ask for permission. It's going to ask for your courage to take a chance on yourself. Because sometimes courage looks like letting go of the unknown, letting go of an applause that you seemingly have in a life that you seemingly are comfortable with, letting go of the story people tell you to. You can see this many times in actors where they get stuck and branded as a certain role and they can never break through it because they're just the same person over and over again. And the ones who are able to do that, they make a radical change in their persona, right? And allows them to take on new roles that are outside of just the one role that they were stuck in for so long. But I can hear you saying, well, this is just who I am. And it's not, because you're constantly under construction. You're constantly a work in progress. I've had to do this myself. I know that there's versions of me, right? I went from college, good grades, to then traveling for work, to working in bartender, to doing all different kinds of jobs, to different girlfriends, to just different places I lived, right? And at each part, you think this is who I am until you discover you need to be the next person to have the next series of your life happen. Now, this isn't to throw it all out the window and just say, break it all and, forget it. Let's just see what happens, right? But it is to not allow yourself just to stick with what's comfortable, because the other side of you is stress testing yourself into new worlds, into new planes, to see what is possible. We don't know what you can do until you try and to see what the outcome is. Growth, it doesn't feel like an arrival. It feels like this transition, because you don't owe the world consistency. You owe yourself alignment with who you truly are. You owe yourself the ability to not stay comfortable, to live 100, to truly show what you can be, and then go out there and do it, because you evolve. The world's moving right now. And whether or not you like it, change is happening everywhere around you. So don't put words into your mind that tell yourself that you're good enough where you are. You're fantastic, but look for the better in you that's ready to come out each and every day, that you're protecting, that's going to make you Blockbuster in the world of Netflix. That's what I have for you today. This is the Live100 Podcast. I'm Yarusi.